students, welcome to Chandbagh School Biology Department and I am Sumer Anwar. Today we are going to start lesson 4 of 6 for the grade 10 students. And the topic I am going to discuss today is peripheral nervous system, that is PNS. In my previous lesson I have discussed about central nervous system in detail. So what is peripheral nervous system? What does the peripheral nervous system do? It connects the central nervous system to the organs, limbs and skin. Central nervous system include brain and spinal cord as we have already discussed. Peripheral nervous system allows the brain and the spinal cord to receive and send information to other areas of the body. Now, peripheral nervous system carries sensory and motor information to and from the central nervous system. It regulates involuntary body functions like heartbeat and breathing. Now, what is meant by nerve impulse? We have already discussed, but I am going to repeat it again here in this lesson. Nerve impulse, the messages carried by the neurons are called as nerve impulses. Nerve impulses can travel very quickly because they are electrical impulses. Now, what is meant by synapse? A synapse is a junction between two neurons. It can be shown here with the help of a diagram. You can see that is the axon terminal. We have discussed about the structures of neuron like sensory neuron, interneurons and motor neurons in detail. So, here is a structure that shows the axon terminal. So, here are the molecules called as the neurotransmitters. These are the chemical messengers, neurotransmitters. So, axon terminal of one neuron, it joins with the dendrite of neuron which has receptors for the neurotransmitters. So, the junction between two neurons, the place at which two neurons meet is called as the synapse. And why they meet? In order to transmit the signal in the form of neurotransmitters, that are the chemical messengers. So here in the diagram, synapse is shown, dendrite, axon and neurotransmitter. Now, what is meant by nerves? A nerve is a bundle of nerve fibers enclosed in a sheath of connective tissue. So here is a nerve shown here. It contains nerve fibers and these are enclosed in a sheath of connective tissue. Now, what is meant by connective tissue? Connective tissue provides support, binds together and protects tissues and organs of the body. Now, peripheral nervous system include cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves are the nerves that originate from the brain and spinal nerves are the nerves that originate from the spinal cord. So, they are named accordingly because brain is enclosed in skull and the part of the skull that encloses the brain is known as cranium. That's why these nerves are known as cranial nerves with reference to the brain. And those that originate from the spinal cord, they are called as spinal nerves. Cranial nerves or spinal nerves may contain sensory nerve fibers only, motor nerve fibers only, or they are mixed fibers. Both sensory and motor nerve fibers are present. So, sensory nerve fibers, such nerves conduct nerve impulses from the sense organs. For example, skin, they act as a receptor. Motor nerve fibers, such nerves conduct nerve impulses to the effectors, for example, muscles and glands. Mixed fibers, both sensory and the motor one, spinal nerves contain mixed fibers. Most of the time the spinal nerves are the mixed nerves. They contain both motor nerves and the sensory nerves. Here is a diagram that shows the structure of three types of the neurons. We have already discussed in detail. Here is a reminder with the help of this diagram. So what is the function of sensory neuron? Sensory neuron contains cell body on the one side. From the receptor to the central nervous system. What is the function of relay neuron or interneuron? From central nervous system to central nervous system, message transmission. What is the function of motor neuron? From central nervous system to effector. So these are the functions of the three different types of neurons. Now, regions of the brain and the spinal cord. The brain and the spinal cord consist of two distinct regions, gray matter and white matter. This section is extremely important and you should write it down on your notebooks and keep it in mind where is the gray region for the brain, where is the white region for the brain. So a central canal is present in both the brain inside the white matter and the spinal cord inside the gray matter. I will explain all of these things with the help of diagram in the next slide. So if we see the brain from the frontal side, we can see the gray matter on the outer side and the white matter on the inside of the brain, and a central canal is present here. So you should remember that the gray matter is present on the outer side, white matter is present in the inner side in case of the brain, while it is reverse in case of the spinal cord. Gray matter is present in the center, white matter is present on the outer side, and central canal is present in the center as shown here. So here is a diagram that I have taken from your Biology Matters book. It is the figure 13.6 that shows distribution of gray matter and white matter in the central nervous system, means in both brain and the spinal cord. So here is a diagram of the spinal cord. As I have already discussed, gray matter is present here. The gray matter consists mainly of cell bodies of neurons. I have explained this in detail in the next slide. You should remember here the parts of the gray brain and the spinal cord indicating the location of gray matter and the white matter. So in case of the brain, white matter is present in the center, while in case of the spinal cord, white matter is present on the outer side. Now, what is the gray matter? Gray matter consists mainly of cell bodies of the neuron. It forms the outer layer of the brain. It forms the central part of the spinal cord. While white matter consists mainly of nerve fibers. It forms the central parts of the brain. It forms the outer layers of the spinal cord. So you can easily compare that both of these things are reversed in case of brain and spinal cord. Now, what is the function of central canal? The central canal contains a fluid called cerebrospinal fluid that brings nutrients to the spinal cord. So here is a diagram that shows in detail part of the spinal cord. So white matter is shown, gray matter is present on the inner side. So what happens when a stimulus is received? The receptor is present here. The receptor will detect the stimulus. The stimulus will move with the help of sensory neuron. Sensory neuron carry the message to the gray part of the spinal cord. From the spinal cord, here this is the interneuron. Interneuron transmit the signal from central nervous system to central nervous system. So it receives the message from the sensory neuron and transmits it to the motor neuron. So here is the motor neuron. Motor neuron carry the message and effect is produced, that is response is generated, and it is transmitted to the effectors, that is muscles. So this is the way how spinal cord receive and responds to a nerve impulse. So here is a detailed diagram from your Biology Matter book. So this is the diagram that shows the spinal cord and this is the diagram that shows the brain. So different parts of the spinal cords are located. This is the dorsal root and this is the ventral root. Now what is meant by the dorsal root? Dorsal root joins the dorsal part, that is towards the back of the spinal cord. It contains only the nerve fibers of sensory neurons that transmit impulses to the spinal cord, while ventral root joins the ventral part, that is towards the front part. Dorsal means the back part of the spinal cord, while ventral means the front part of the spinal cord. It contains only the nerve fibers of motor neurons. It contains the nerve fibers of motor neuron because motor neuron leads towards the effectors, that is muscles and glands, while dorsal back side contains sensory neurons because they sense the signal, and in between them there is an relay neuron or interneuron is present. So in this way the message is transmitted. Here is the dorsal root ganglion. Ganglion means a small swelling because of the presence of the cell body of the sensory neuron. So here is a swelling on the dorsal side of the spinal cord. So this is the structure of the spinal cord. Now what happens if there is a receptor, sensory neurons detect the stimulus, it will enter into the gray part of the spinal cord. Once it enters, it will move into the brain. Relay neurons may transmit impulses from the brain down to the white matter of the spinal cord to the gray matter. The relay neuron will take the information from the brain and take it to the gray part of the spinal cord, and it is voluntary action. This happens when the voluntary action takes place and the brain is involved in this case. So once in the gray matter, it will move with the help of motor neuron and reach to the effector, and the response is generated. So here is a spinal nerve. The dorsal root and the ventral root join to form the spinal nerve. The spinal nerve contains both the sensory and the motor neuron, hence it is a mixed nerve, as I have already discussed. So here is a written assignment for you. Question number 1, name the junction where two neurons meet. I have discussed in the lesson, so watch it carefully in order to answer the question. Question number 2, name the chemical that is secreted when the nerve impulses are transmitted across the synapse. Question number 3, what is the function of cerebrospinal fluid? Question number 4, differentiate between gray matter and white matter of brain and spinal cord. So you have to answer all of these questions. If you have any problem in the topic, feel free to ask. This is a different type of topic and a little bit complex. So make sure to watch the lesson again and again, or write it down the lecture points and then repeat it so that you understand it in a better way. Hope you will understand. Thanks for watching.